Well, we've just finished our GV Live Engage 2020 event, which was produced entirely on AMP, all live in the cloud. So I thought I'd spend just a couple of minutes giving you a little bit of an insight on how this production was put together. And the best way of showing you that is to show you a new product that's part of the AMP ecosystem that we call the System Dashboard. And this lets me look at the entire infrastructure that we've got deployed in order to put this together. So we can zoom in and out and sort of study this and sort of see how it was all put together. So the show was actually presented from Florida. So we had a studio there with the talent and a small production crew in a COVID-safe environment. And we didn't do any vision processing there. We took the 4 camera feeds and we fed them into one of our AMP 1U servers where they were encoded and sent low latency into an AWS data center that we were using, which happens to be in Oregon, so going all the way across the other side of America. And they had a TD there with the director that was actually calling the show and switching the shots. But again, all of that vision processing was happening over in the main EC2 instance, which you can see sort of set up on the map here. And in addition to that, we had some feeds coming in from Breda, Newbury, and our Crown Point offices that we used for multi-camera, multi-presenter sort of conversations and discussions. So all of this was done using the public internet. So these dotted lines represent the feeds going from the on-premise compute nodes, which are capturing the video, across the public internet to get to the AWS data center. And in this situation, because these are contribution quality feeds, we're using a low latency encodec at 15 megabits in this case. And we also had some RIST dialed in for a bit of stream protection, which added a little bit of latency, but it's worth it to guarantee you're going to get those solid pictures that you saw. But one of the things you might have noticed is that there's very little delay when you see the presenter communicating to basically someone who's halfway around the world. And that's one of the powers of AMP, is the way it manages those latencies. And you can't cheat time, but you can manage it. So the key thing there is that they're all listening to in their ears a low latency comms. So they can hear themselves in real time on a very low latency comms solution. Their pictures obviously then arrive back in the data center slightly different times because they've come from different parts of the world. But the AMP ecosystem will automatically time align those for us so that we're able to basically make sure everybody talks, nobody talks across each other, and they can also be pretty interactive without getting any of those sort of embarrassing pauses that you often get with satellite contribution with traditional broadcast systems. So in terms of the production team, we were also distributed. So over here in the UK, I was kind of handling master control. I was handling audio using another one of our user interfaces for managing audio levels. I could watch the multi-viewer using one of our low latency flow monitors, which is also a key part of the AMP solution, as could the director and the TD in Florida. They'd also got this low latency return, which they put up on their monitor wall so they could see what was going on. We also made extensive use of our GVUI control surfaces, which let us bring lots of different components onto the same screen. So in this case, I had the main production switcher because I was also backup should there have been a problem in Florida, because again, one of the key things about AMP is it's this distributed nature, so multiple operators can be operating on the same application at the same time. I also had an additional mixer that I was using to set up and prepare some of the 2-box and 3-box and 4-box contribution feeds that you saw coming in, so that the main TD didn't have to worry about that. They were sort of preset on a pre-switcher, if you like, that I was worrying about. And then Larissa over in Belgium, she was doing all the clip playback, and we used quite a lot of our clip players because we had not only A, B and C for playing in the main sort of pre-recorded elements of the show, but we also had graphics backgrounds we were rolling, we had name supers, so there was quite a lot going on. So we had 6 clip players in total that we were also looking after between us, and again we could all see what was going on, we could see the countdowns and things all on our screens here. So basically that's how it was done. It went pretty well. We were pretty pleased with it. Quite a complex show for us to pull off, and so we were very pleased with how it went. And I have to say, and I am biased obviously, but I think AMP was flawless. We didn't really have any technical problems at all during the event, and we look forward to doing another one.